Hello and welcome to Football 360 on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. As you know, Euro 2016 would be starting in a few days' time, starting on 10th of June and going until a month's time. So we here at ThePapare.com thought of previewing the 6 groups, and to tell you all about it, I'm joined in the ThePapare.com studios by Ashwin Das. Ashwin?
Yes, welcome. And today we'll be looking at Group A, consisting of Albania, France, Romania, and Switzerland. And to start things off, we'll have a look at Albania, who are qualifying for their first major international tournament, and they finished second in their group behind Portugal with 4 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, finishing ahead of teams like Serbia and Denmark, who have made many appearances at international tournaments.
Yes, Gianni Di Biase's side prefers a 4-3-3 formation, and in attack and in defense they shifts down to a 4-5-1 formation. So we'll look at the squads first, starting with the goalkeeper, their main goalkeeper Berisha, then the defenders, then the midfielders, and their forwards. Mainly their key player is Tolan Zaka. Ashwin, what do you have to say about him? He's the elder brother of Granit Xhaka.
Yes, he'll be facing his brother in the group stages, and Taulan Xhaka will hold the keys in midfield for them, as Lorik Kana as well, their experienced centre-back, who is one of their most capped players, will also play a key role in their performances.
But Ashwin, their main concern should be their attack, because they've only scored 10 goals in their qualifying stage.
Yes, and of those 10 goals, 3 were awarded to them as a result of a walkover against Serbia. So goal scoring is not one of their strengths, and they may find it difficult to break down the defenses of the teams in their group, and so up front they have a lot of problems now.
Now we'll move on to the hosts of France, who are ranked 21st, and they were the champions in 1984 and 2000, where they were captained by Didier Deschamps, who is now the current coach of France.
Yes, they haven't had many competitive games, which explains their ranking of 21st. And he has toyed around with the team a bit in their friendlies, trying to find the right formation, and he's settled for a 4-3-3 formation for this tournament after trying around with a 4-5-1 and 4-4-2 formations.
Indeed, we'll go on to the goalkeepers. It's Hugo Lloris who will be their first choice goalkeeper. Then there's Steve Mandanda and Benoit Costil. Then the defense, Bakary Sagna, Christopher Jallet, Joachim Mangala, Samuel Emmett, Laurent Koscielny, Patrice Evra, Adil Rami. And talking about their defense, Ashwin, they are missing Rafael Varane, Kurt Zouma, and 2 very young and very good defenders.
Yes, both of them would have been first choice centre-backs, I believe, in Didier Deschamps' team, but they will have to do without their services in this tournament. But I think central defence, they will be okay, but it's the wide areas where their players will struggle due to lack of pace of Patrice Evra and Bakary Sagna.
Absolutely. We'll go on to the midfielders now. Lassana Diarra, Moussa Sissoko, N'Golo Kante, Paul Pogba, Johan Cabaye, Blaise Matuidi, and unfortunately for France, they will be missing Lassana Diarra. Instead, Morgan Chandelin would be replacing him.
Yes, midfield is one of their greatest strengths. Paul Pogba, N'Golo Kante, Blaise Matuidi, 3 very talented players in midfield for them, who undoubtedly will play a big role in whether they progress to the latter stages or not.
And coming into the forwards, Antoine Griezmann, who has an excellent form against with Atletico Madrid. He'll be key for them, including Anthony Martial, again another prospect coming from Manchester United, and also Kingsley Coman, the unheralded Kingsley Coman, who started this season with Bayern Munich on loan from Juventus.
Yes, Kingsley Coman has had a great season with Bayern, and their main goal scoring threat, however, will be Arsenal forward Olivier Giroud, who, despite struggling for form at Arsenal, has found it quite easy to score goals for France, and he'll be key. His form will be key If he can convert the chances that his midfield can set up for him, France have a very good chance of going all the way.
Now we'll look at the third side. In Group A, it's Romania, who are ranked 19th in the world. They finished second behind Northern Ireland with 5 wins and 5 draws, and their best performance in the Euro Championship is the quarterfinal stages in Euro 2000.
Yes, under manager Angel Iordanescu, they prefer a 4-2-3-1 formation, which is much preferred by many managers for international teams. It gives defensive solidity, and they have several key players on whom they rely on to get to this stage, and they will undoubtedly rely on them throughout the tournament as well. As we look at the squad, starting with the goalkeepers, Kostil Pantilmon, familiar to many, but he'll be behind Tatarusanu in the pecking order in this Romanian team. And the defense, which conceded only 2 goals in qualifying, one of the stingiest defenses, led by Dragos Grigore and assisted by Vlad Kirishes and Razvan Rat, players who have Champions League experience.
Yes, and coming into the midfielders, not many familiar faces, not big names, but they will have a key role to play in the Romanian side going into the knockout stages. And looking at the forwards, it's Denis Alibek, who will have a lot to prove coming into this squad of 23, who had scored 16 times in the domestic championship for Astra this season. The 25-year-old will be key for their manager.
Moving on to Switzerland, the final team in the group. They finished second in their qualifying campaign behind England with 7 wins and 3 losses, and their best ever performance. They haven't been able to get past the group stage, but they'll be hoping to change that this time now.
Absolutely, coached by Vladimir Petkovic. They use a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3 formation, very flexible for them. And they have quite a few familiar faces, but not the likes of Felipe Senderos, who is not playing, not in the squad due to injuries.
Yes, but they still have a very decent lineup as we have a look at the goalkeepers. Jan Sommer from Borussia Mönchengladbach, who will be their number 1 behind the sticks. As we look at in defense, they have familiar names, Johan Juru, Stefan Lichtsteiner and Ricardo Rodriguez. A lot of their players play in Germany, so they have good experience in the top leagues.
And also Stefan Lichtsteiner is their captain because Inler is not playing, not in the squad.
Yes, if you look at the midfielders, you will find Gökhan Inler, who has struggled to find the game time at Leicester City, is not in the squad, but they have a lot of able midfielders in there. Gelson Fernandez, Lerim Zemaili and Granit Xhaka, who will be key in central midfield for them.
And going into the forwards, they will heavily rely on Zidane Zakiri, who has scored 5 goals and assisted with 4. Now we'll look at the fixtures of Group A. They'll be starting with France versus Romania at the Stade de France on the 10th of June. And Ashwin, the group decider, I think, would be Switzerland versus France on the 19th of June.
Yes, I really think France are favourites to go through with this group quite easily. Switzerland will fancy their chances of finishing second. They have the squad to beat Romania and Albania. Albania will really struggle, I feel, in this group. Their first appearance at a major international tournament, so they may find it hard to progress. So my bet is that France will win, Switzerland in second, and Romania may fancy their chances of qualifying as a third-place team from Group A.
That's it as we previewed Group A of Euro 2016. This is me, Navod Vijay Vikrama, along with Ashwin Das, signing off for ThePapare.com, sharing the passion.